Have you ever had one of those days where you just feel calm, grounded? Like something inside you has finally settled, and the usual morning rush of anxiety just isn't there? I had a morning like that recently, and it felt amazing. It was a quiet, peaceful strength that I knew was coming from deep within. But then the outside world tried to creep in. Someone I know, out of what they called concern, started feeding me stories. Stories filled with fear, worry, and worst-case scenarios. And suddenly, my newfound peace was being put to the test. Today, I want to share the story of how I recognized that fear for what it was, and how I made the conscious choice to protect my own peace. This is a lesson in becoming the guardian of your own energy. The fear-based stories were about my son, who is proudly serving in the Navy. But here's the thing, I had just spoken to him. I knew from the source, from my own direct connection with him, that he was safe and in good hands. My reality was calm. The story I was being told was chaos. And in that moment, I saw the patterns so clearly. Someone was offering me their fear and calling it information. They were projecting their anxiety onto me. In the past, I would have absorbed that. I know I would have. Their anxiety would have become my anxiety. I would have carried their worry in the pit of my stomach for the rest of the day. But on this day, I realized something in me had finally changed. I had a choice. And in that moment of clarity, I made 3 of them. My first choice was to trust my own reality. I had the truth from my son. I didn't need to entertain a fantasy of fear. And this is the first step for you too. When you're faced with secondhand information that makes you anxious, ground yourself and ask, what do I actually know to be true? What is my direct experience? Anchor yourself in your reality, not someone else's fears. My second choice was to refuse to participate in the negativity. I didn't argue. I didn't get defensive. I simply affirmed, he is safe and in good hands, and I gently changed the subject. I refused to give any more of my energy to that negative momentum. Remember this, you do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. You can lovingly and firmly excuse yourself from conversations that are designed to generate fear, gossip, or anxiety. Setting that boundary is a radical act of self-preservation. And my third choice was to release their energy, so it didn't become mine. As soon as I could, I sat down and wrote it all out. I acknowledged the fear that was presented to me, and then I let it go. I stopped the ripple before it could ever disturb my own emotional water. You have to find your own release valve. Maybe it's journaling like me. Maybe it's walking, screaming into a pillow, meditating, or calling a friend who you know will lift you up. You must actively release that energy so it doesn't get stuck and stored in your body. That calm I felt in the morning wasn't an accident. It was the result of learning to do this, to recognize fear, to choose peace, and to protect my energy with awareness, love, and clarity. This is a skill, and it's one you can build, day by day, choice by choice. Your peace is your power. You are the guardian at the gate of your own energy. You get to decide what comes in and what stays out. Choosing peace doesn't mean the world around you suddenly becomes quiet. It means you do. And that, my friends, makes all the difference.